Romeo was on some shenanigans, but we managed to get through the tutorial. Let's get started. It's Romeo Wednesday. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda. And thank you so much for joining me today. Romeo was doing something different today. I could not say today was an I love you day. We did manage to finish the project. We did this one on regular polyester. This is a Cricut shirt. It's 95% polyester. This is a Gildan heavy cotton shirt, so it's cotton. And we managed to finish, thank goodness. Now, I am going to show you everything I've learned so far and how I managed to get through this tutorial, especially this one. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end. At the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and then we will head right over to Leonardo Design Studio. The materials I use for this project include my Siser Romeo. I used a black Gildan heavy cotton shirt, a white Cricut shirt. This one is 95% polyester. Hippo Sublimation ink, Siser Glitter HTV butcher paper. The sublimation paper that I use is A-Sub. I use the Siser High Tack Matte, Cricut heat resistant tape in my cute little hedgehog tape dispenser. My heat press back there is a StarCraft clamshell 15 by 15, and my printer is an Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. Now, without further ado, let's head over to Leonardo Design Studio Pro. I am in Leonardo Design Studio, and the first thing I'm going to do is select the T for text, and I'm going to scroll down and navigate to a font that is called Impact. I'm going to make sure my caps lock is on, and I'm going to type the word family. I'm going to click apply, and I'm going to resize the word. I'm just going to bring it up. I don't have a set size in mind for this, but I know that I have a lot of space available for me to work with. Now, of course, 11.2 would be probably too big, but we'll resize it when we get to adding the photo. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to scroll down and add an image of my family. And even though this is a print and cut project, I want to use this image as a background. So I'm going to select next. Now, if you're using an older image or an image that is distorted in any way, you might want to change the resolution. However, I can see that this is already a high quality image. I can look right here at the pixels. I'm going to select next, and you can see that is way too big. The photo comes in at 34 inches wide, and that is much too big for what I need. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to, now you see right here on the art board and cutting mat right here at the on the right here, because I've added that image, print and cut job printed sheet was automatically selected for me. Now it also changed the paper size to A4, which is not the paper size that I'm using. And what I want to do, I can look at these options right here. I have the option for US letter, 8.5 by 11, and that is the size paper that I'm using. However, I'm not going to use it in this form. So what I want to do instead is select this printer icon. When I found this, I was over the moon with excitement. Okay, right here it says set the size to match your printer. I'm going to select that. And when I do, I can look right here and see my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. And I want my paper, my orientation to be in landscape mode, not in portrait mode. So I'm going to click OK, and that changed the way my view is set up on the screen. So now what I'm going to do is select this page marks box, and I am going to start to resize this so that I can make sure that everyone's face is behind one of the letters. Now, when I look at the text, I can see the text is 11 inches wide, and the maximum space, of course, even if you're just looking at it without even considering print and cut, is right at 11. So I know that I have to go smaller than that. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in, and I'm definitely going to bring it. I don't need it to be 10 inches wide either. But let's look at 9.8, and let's see. Let's start to move this. So what I'm paying attention to, now it looks like I have everyone's face, but if I look closely, I can see that I'm cut off a part of my daughter's face right there. So I'm going to kind of move this up and move it over. My son is very tall, and sometimes it makes it hard when I'm doing photo projects because he's so much taller than everyone in our family. Okay, so I have to be careful with this letter F. Let me look again. Looks like I have everyone. I still see that my daughter's face is cut off. Now let me pay attention to my text. Let me click on text. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to go to order and bring to front. I want to make sure that text stays in front of the photo. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is, let me turn the page marks off. I don't need it just yet. And what I'm going to do is select Control A with my keyboard, and you can also just go to edit and select all. It will give you the same effect. And what I'm going to do is scroll down right here to this menu, and I'm going to select intersect. When I do that, now my letters have been cut away from the photo, and I like the way this looks. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to, now I want the page marks on, and I don't want the actual registration lines to hug this photo because I am not going to allow the Romeo to cut this. I don't need Romeo to cut this. This is a sublimated image that's going to go on a white shirt, so I definitely don't need this to be cut. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go right here to build contours, and I am going to select an offset. Okay, and I do want to include the holes, and I want the offset to be at 35. And what I'm going to do now is click apply. And when I go over here to my layers panel, because even though I have an offset, the offset looks nice, I do think having a red offset would look better than having a blue line go around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this option right here for stroke, and I'm going to go right here to this color option, and I'm going to change the stroke to red. Let me click apply. So now you can see that I have a red line around my text, and I like that. I think it looks really nice. And what I'm going to do now, let's see what happens if I select send design. Okay, so I can see that I have the option to send it, but I still don't have that red outline around my design, and I definitely want that. So let me click cancel, and let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to build contours. I'm going to select the editable contour, which is a cut only. I'm going to change the contour to red, and I'm just going to click in here. I don't have a specific version or specific color of red that I'm going to select, just red. And I'm going to click include holes, and I'm still going to go with that 35 offset. I'm going to click apply. Now you can see that I have a red offset around my image. And I think that looks amazing. Of course, you know, I'm going to say it looks amazing because I love the color red and I love photos of my family. But I have digressed. Let's see what would happen now. There's my design. It has a red outline. Let's click send. Okay, so this is what my image would look like when it's printed out. Now, I do not need to do the cut because I'm going to cut this by hand, and I think this looks fantastic. So now we will get this sent to the printer. So what I'm going to do right here, I have my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer, and I can see that the size of paper that I need is like right at 10.9 by 8.4, which is amazing. And because this is a Word, of course, I need to mirror this, and I am going to click send to printer. Now, let me cancel that for 1 second. If you are going to be making, let's say you're making shirts for your family reunion and everyone is going to have the same exact shirt, you can click copies right here and then you can select the number of copies you want to have printed. I think that's a very nice feature. Okay, I'm only going to make one copy. Now I'm going to click send to printer. Now this is mirrored already, so I'm going to go to properties and I'm going to select my sublimation preset with the mirror off. Okay, now the orientation for my sublimation preset is set to portrait, but remember my paper is in landscape mode, so I need to change that right here and go to landscape. My paper type is premium. My paper type is premium presentation paper matte. The quality is high. I do have print preview on. Let's look at more options. I don't ever have any of these checked. Well, that's not true. I don't ever have high speed checked or rotate by 180 degrees, but sometimes I do have the mirror option on. Okay, so I am going to select letter, and really none of this other stuff matters. None of this other stuff, but I do want to make sure that I do a print preview so that I can make sure it's going to be mirrored here in my printer. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and I am going to click OK again. Once I do, I'll get a print preview that looks exactly how I want it to look. I will click print, and everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. We are here at the heat press. I have my Cricut shirt. I'm using the men's medium. The reason why I use the men's shirt is because I like the crew neck instead of the V-neck. That is a matter of personal preference. What I'm going to do first is put the shirt on the heat press, and I am going to lint roll it. This will remove any of those pesky blue fibers. And I am going to cut away the registration marks that are right here. These because I don't need them. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is put butcher paper in the middle of the shirt to make sure that none of the sublimation ink goes through the top of the shirt to the back. Take the image to the shirt face down. I'm going to pre-press my shirt first, get some moisture out. Yeah, I do have it on heavy pressure. Not sure I need that. All right, and I'm going to kind of just eyeball it and come down about 3 finger lengths. Going to use some heat resistant tape to keep the image in place. Now I have one additional piece of butcher paper to go on top, and I'm going to press this on 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Okay, it beeped. Be very careful about this. I am going to use my weeding tool to remove the tape. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh wee. Look at this. Look at that. That looks really, really good. That looks really, really good. Look at that ink release, okay? And let's see what we have right here. Let's see what we have. Take that out of the middle. Okay, so this is our finished product. And what am I going to say? I love it. You know I'm going to say I love it. I absolutely love it. Now let me show you what you can do if you have a cotton shirt, because everyone does not like to wear polyester and everyone does not like to wear white. Let me show you how to sublimate on glitter vinyl. We are going to use this same exact image. We're going to allow our Romeo to cut out the letters and we will go through the full process. Let's head back over into Leonardo Design Studio. We are back in Leonardo Design Studio, and what I'm going to do before I move any further is go to File and Export Artwork, and I want to save this. Now, I do have the option to save this as an SVG, or I can even save this as a PNG file, and I can upload this to other software programs, including Cricut Design Space. Okay, so I want to have the selected artwork, and I am going to click save, and I have to give this a name. So I'm going to go to my documents. I have a Leonardo folder already, and I'm going to call this Rockets Family, and I'm going to click save. Okay, so if I want to use this in Cricut Design Space, I can. If you are trying to get used to the software before your machine arrives, this will help you play around with it a little bit. All right, so now what I want to do is actually have my Romeo cut this out. And in order to do that, I need to send this to the cutter. However, because I'm going to be placing this on top of glitter vinyl, I need to have a layer that will be cut only. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm looking in my layers panel. I can see I have this image or this object right here that's called a shape. That's actually the red layer that's behind the photo. And then I have this kiss cut group. I'm going to click on shape. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to click edit and add copy. Now, when I do that, I can see that this is that same red layer back there. But what I want to do, just to be on the safe side, is make this a little bit bigger so that when I'm layering the letters on top of the glitter vinyl, that I have a little bit of wiggle room just in case I need it. So what I'm going to do is click right here, making sure that I have this layer selected. I'm going to select build contours. I'm going to go to editable contour. I am going to include the holes, and I have to, well, I want to add an offset. I want the offset to be at 35. For some reason, I just like that offset. And I am going to get a very light color. Okay, it looks like it's almost white. All right, and I am going to click apply, and there's my offset. That's going to be my layer of glitter vinyl. Oh, it just, okay, I see what it did. I was like, what is this? Okay, so I actually don't need this red layer anymore. I can delete this. I can go to edit and delete, and I do want this white copy though, but instead of making this a print, I want this to be a cut. So I'm going to uncheck this right here just for this image, and you can see that right here at the bottom it goes to cut. So this is still going to be a printed image. Let me go and make sure that's selected, but this over here, I can right click right here. I can go down here to default and print, and I can just change it to a cut. Okay, so that is that. So now we are ready to click send design. Now, what will happen when I click send design? First of all, I need to turn on the page marks because you can see that this is red. So I can turn on the page marks. I can see I'm in the allowable space. I am going to click send design. When I do that, I still see my original image. I'm going to click send. Now this will allow me to send this through to my printer, and the red layer will allow me to get it cut out, which is great. But I also need to go back to my design. I'm going to make sure I have all of this selected and that it's grouped. I can move this out of the way and I can make sure this is sent to the cutter. Now, I do not need this to be a print and cut, just a cut. All right. And so if I click send design on that, it'll look just like this. I can click send and this will just be a cut, and that's great. The best thing about it is it's going to be a little bit bigger than what I need. So I will start with this first, and then I'll get my image printed and we will get the letters cut out. All right, everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I have my Siser white glitter HTV on the mat with the shiny side facing down. The cut setting I'm using is a speed of 10 and a force of 35. The glitter vinyl weeded. Now let's move back over to the heat press. We are over here at the heat press. I am going to do a quick pre-press on my shirt. It is a Gildan heavy cotton large shirt. I'm going to fold it in half, put a crease down the middle. I have my layer of Glitter HTV. Now I'm going to press this on the shirt. I have my heat press set to 320 degrees for 20 seconds. That is the recommended settings for Glitter HTV. Now I'm not going to press this for the full time because I'm still going to have to press on top of it with the sublimation. So I'm going to just press it for about 10 seconds. Okay. All right, Siser is a hot or cold peel, so I can go ahead and peel this now. So here's my first layer of Glitter HTV. Now, I tried multiple times to cut the letters, but I could not get my Romeo calibrated, and I was sad about that. But let me show you what my letters were looking like. So, and this was multiple cuts. I tried multiple times, trust me. But my letters were just not cut out right, and I tried calibrating and it just didn't work. So instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to just cut away the registration lines, and I'm going to tape this down as one image and hope I get it lined up well enough, because I can't quit. But let's see how that works. If I get it lined up well enough, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my very best. Okay, and I am going to use some sublimation tape, my heat resistant tape. Right? I am going to put butcher paper on top of this. I am going to increase the temperature to 400 degrees for, I'm going to do 45 seconds. And let's see what we have. It's exciting, very exciting. Now, I did not need butcher paper inside because the glitter vinyl protected the inside of the shirt. But let's see if we can see what we see. Peel it and reveal it. It's been a long time since I've sublimated on glitter vinyl. It just looks so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. This looks amazing. This looks amazing. Let me let you see that. All right. So this is sublimation on glitter vinyl. And what am I going to say besides I love it? I love it. Okay, let me share my final thoughts with you about this process. Now, hopefully you are enjoying going on this Romeo Wednesday journey with me, because I am enjoying learning all about it, learning about the software and the things you can do, and seeing how it's different from Cricut Design Space and how it's similar. You know, I've only used the Cricut. That's the only other cutter I've ever tried to use, and I'm quite familiar with it. So this is definitely a steep learning curve for me. When I started this tutorial, my original goal was to use the HTV Ront sublimation for dark fabrics, and I did start out using that. I actually made this shirt, and as you can see, my cuts were really off, and that was when I realized that I needed to do a calibration. I started printing multiple sheets, and I tried a lot of times. Like, I probably printed this image maybe 12 times. It might even be more than that, but my trash can is full. What I learned along the way was that you can try to calibrate your machine. You're going to need the pin adapter that comes with the Romeo, as well as a big pin. So none of the pins that I really had, I found this pin. I was very excited about that. I was excited to find this big pin, because you will need a big pin in order to go in the pin adapter to try to draw the calibration. So I did draw that several times. Okay. And I just could not get it to calibrate. So I will be reaching out to Siser and seeing if they are going to, what support they're going to give me. I'm confident that I will get good support. I also did not find anyone on YouTube that had done a complete calibration. I couldn't find anything about it that showed a complete calibration where the cuts were off, and then after the calibration it was complete and they were right. I hadn't found that. So I will be definitely reaching out to Siser, and I will keep you informed about what I can find out about that. All right. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. Let me move my stuff. If you did find it helpful, please consider liking the video. Oh, wait a minute. If you did find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.